Hi. One of the things that, one of the concepts that I want to get out of the way, and perhaps most difficult one, is the concept of language. It is very challenging for me to tailor whatever I say to a specific audience, because the audience I usually address is very varied. And even that, we can't limit ourselves to a, say, single personality, single role. We play multiple roles as we progress through life, even through day. We're a different person at work and will respond to a different language, and we're a different person at home, right? We have to adapt the roles we play to our environment. So in order to convey ideas, in order to talk about, say, reality, or more exactly spirituality, the language needs to be tailored to its recipient. Now, I always found it very difficult. I think I'm guilty of a certain perfectionism here, and it was an absolute hindrance in the past. Trying to convey something in the most universal manner possible, that it reaches everyone and it resonates with everyone on the same level, and that's impossible. So the way I decided to approach it is to talk about few different perspectives that people may have from the paradigm of Zen, of Buddhism Zen. So discussing Zen on a level of knowledge, discussing Zen with words, so some might say kind of defeats the purpose, but for many people it will be very valuable, especially for those that never really investigated the subject, never really got into that. It may be quite interesting, or maybe even eye-opening, enlightening, should I say. So there's a concept called the Wheel of Zen, or the Circle of Zen. So if you imagine a circle, let's start at the bottom. It goes like this, and you have 0 degrees, and you have 90 degrees, 180, 270, and 360 is where you start, basically, right? At each of those stations, at each of those points, there's a kind of pivotal moment where perspective shifts. So the 0% is 0%. 0 degrees is percent sounds like a progress bar in a game. It's a subconscious trap. So 0% degrees is, it's rainy outside. It's a bit of a hurricane weather, and that's not a Zen koan or of any sort, by the way. It's just we're experiencing 4 seasons in one day. Amazing stuff. 0 degrees is the regular mind that you will see every day, which is, this is a pencil. There you go, a pencil. You can't see it because of the focus. You have to trust me on that. And 2 + 2 = 4. You know, this is the logical mind that relates to our physical reality, and it works. So when the mind travels to 90 degrees, it starts kind of questioning things, but it's still bound to duality, right? It's bound to its thinking. Oh, the sun is beautiful. But it perceives things thanks to its oppositions. So this pencil is defined by the air around it. If the whole place was filled with whatever the pencil is made of, wood, we wouldn't be able to say where the pencil begins and where it ends, right? So in this way we can say the emptiness is the form. You will hear Buddhists say it often. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So this is the 90 degrees station on the circle. Whenever I say that the mind is attached to thinking, it shouldn't be seen as negative or positive. It should be seen as a state, not as a judgment, right? Okay. So with 180, whenever you're at 180, you decide that both the form and the emptiness are fiction, are just a matter of perception, and they are ultimately one. So the tip of the pencil, where do you tell the difference between the tip and the rest of the pencil? Is it here? Is it here? Is it, what does a pencil without a tip look like? Is it still a pencil, or an edge of a bowl? That's a very nice metaphor or simile. Whenever you have something that a part of it has been pointed out as deserving a separate word for, like when you have a spoon, nobody ever considers this to be worthy of a separate noun, right? You don't say this is the tea compartment and this is the spoon handle. All right. The mind in 180 degrees will perceive both spoon handle and the tea compartment as a completely unnecessary and fictitious, just as the form that defines the spoon, the air around it defining the spoon, the context being null and void. All right. So if we travel from 180 to 270, we arrive at freedom. We look at because at 180 the void is binding. Whenever one focuses on that, it does not allow a different perspective, right? That's the thing. So whenever we travel to 270, this is kind of an absurd realm where freedom from the void and the form is attained. We can, it's kind of Monty Python realm. We can say that the pencil is unhappy, or that the spoon is laughing, right? And it makes just as much sense as anything else. So, having discovered all these phases, all these perspectives, we can go back to 360. And we can appreciate them all for what they are. We can speak all the 4 languages. So maybe it's a 5th language, right? Well, what you can get is, think of it as tools in your tool belt. In fact, many concepts, many paradigms that I'll discuss sooner or later, they will be just like tools in your tool belt. You don't have to identify yourself with them, but you can use them to savor meaning. All right. So a 360 car stops at a red light, but you as a driver can get out of the car and you're no longer the car, right? So the driving happens, you drive a car, you still obey all the rules, you're perfectly aware of them, you're playing the game, but you know it's just a car and the rules are fiction. The rules apply within the context of the car. Not necessarily trying to understand, you know, why is the red light on this intersection? Nothing like that. Just, this is the game I'm playing. And with it, whether you like it or not, the baggage that you gain is freedom from knowing. Because if you try to know, to understand, you know, why is this red light here? I need to figure it out, otherwise I won't be able to sleep tonight. This is hugely hindering mechanism. So it gets shed before. In the 360 position, you will just go, I don't know. The car just stopped. My foot pressed on the pedal, the car stopped, because this is what the car does. This one drinks green tea because this is what this one does. Do I have control over it? I don't know. Never tried. Never tried. Truly, I tell you, I have not been born yesterday. Okay. There was a great book by Terry Pratchett, Thief of Time. The main character there, Wen, the eternally surprised, Wen spelled W-E-N, is a brilliant pastiche of a Zen master. Very much recommended. Lots of fun. All right, everyone. I think this is it. I think I described one of the problems that I have in trying to convey messages. Basically, you know, you do this, and 1/4 of the people that you want to talk to understands everything and goes like, "That's it. That's the end of the story. I understood whatever he meant." Another time you go like, and another 1/4 understands. Whereas whatever happens is just there's some dude holding his hands in front of himself, right? So in some cases it is necessary to preach to egos, because you can preach only to egos. There's no way to achieve anything useful out of preaching. You need to modify your behaviors, otherwise you're not going to be allowed into the elite of people who behave differently. You can preach only to egos, and the only reason for that is to speed up the folly, because fool persistent in his folly becomes wise. So there may be a bit of that as well. I just thought it is important to highlight the context. And you know, bits and pieces that are like that are also therapeutic, are also kind of part of a journey that helps people work through baggage they need to get rid of in order to go to the next step of their journey. Anyway, thank you for listening. It was great to express that circle of Zen, an idea that I enjoy very much. So again, thanks for watching and thanks for being here.